welcome to my channel, your go-to destination for all things educational. Thank you for tuning in. I am Lana, the educator. Today we have an exciting program. Guest from our sister Isle will be joining us, and I'll tell you a bit about her in a minute. If you are a first-time listener on this channel, welcome and join me as I explore the latest educational trends and tackle pressing issues facing the education sector. Here on Teachers Have Issues, yes, we also share stories of triumph and innovation from classrooms across the globe, as we'll be hearing a little on in our podcast. And if you have interest in anything educational, then you like and subscribe. This is your place for inspiration, insights, and invaluable resources. So today on Teachers Have Issues, yes, I welcome my guest, Shelley Armstrong, who is a Tobagoan educator. Welcome, Miss Armstrong.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to be here.
Right, it's a pleasure to have you. So let me tell the people a bit about Miss Armstrong. She has a impressive, wide, varied resume. I don't think if I can take the whole podcast to read it out, right? She's been teaching for 38 years. So you guys know you'll be well informed in this podcast. She's employed at St. Andrew's Anglican Primary School, and she went to Valsayn Teachers Training College here in Trinidad and Tobago. She possesses a Bachelor of Education with a focus in primary education in specifically language arts. She has certification in so many areas: global professional webinar, modern business management, adult computer literacy, basic computer literacy. She even has a certification in junior calypso writing. Wow. She has certificate in management studies, performance management, appreciation for exemplary voluntary service at TT Moves National Care Center. She also has important certification in leveraging middle leadership for learning. So, you know, today we have a leader with us on our podcast. She has a varied work experience from Valsayn Teachers Training College to WIM Anglican School, St. Andrew's Anglican School, and vice principal there as well. She has an illustrious career in YTIP as a career enhancement tutor, as well as a technical supervisor. And she is the current, what do we say, Miss? She's the current director, the CEO of Armstrong Learning Center, which started, I guess, here as evening classes and Eastern summer camps, and now it has grown into a full-time home school that's going to commence this September here. She has very, very varied experience in sport and writing workshops, netball, cricket, physical education, career enhancement skills, as well as various social and community involvement across Anglican youth groups and Anglican Youth Council, as well as being involved in the Lions Club of Scarborough, Tobago. 2021 to 2023, indeed, she was the president, right? And she deals with marketing now and communication. She's a marketing and communication leader in Scarborough Upper Lions Club and Tobago Anglican Youth and Adult Nurturers. I told you guys it's a long and varied and experienced resume, and guess we have with us here today. Yes, Miss Armstrong. Whoa. Wow. Yes. So let's talk about Armstrong Learning Center. I'm excited to hear about it because it seems that it has grown into grown from what it was initially into something else as an institution. So what was your inspiration for starting this educational institution?
Well, my inspiration was from my mother. My mother was an educator herself. So I grew up in the educational arena. She was a school teacher. She was a principal. Then she went on being the school supervisor for Tobago. And She always come and help me when I'm helping my children with the schoolwork. And other children will come on board, my children friends, and we formed a close network where we start helping the weak ones. But we used to say it's the old mesh with the young. So she used to consider, okay, she's the experienced, she's the old and I'm the young. So we used to merge our educational resources, be the internet against Blackboard and chalk and talk and so on. We merged, and that was her passion. So very soon I took over the passion.
Right.
And yes, so we both started and we said, well, let us expand this thing. So we had some benches and some chairs, and we got a place. It was an old tire shop, and we refurbished it by ourselves. And I have two boy children, so they assisted. So
Right.
we started assisting the weak ones on afternoons, and including my children. And then my children started teaching the weak ones as well. So we said, let's give it a name, because my deceased, she's now deceased, is my deceased mom was Phyllis Armstrong,
Right.
and I am Shelley Armstrong.
Yeah.
So we said, let's go with the Armstrong title. And the property that we started on belonged to the Armstrongs. So we said, okay, let's look for a name, and we decided Armstrong's Learning Center. So we
Excellent.
built from the ground up with no furniture. We went around and begged for old tables and chairs, and the linoleum we used to put on the floor, we'll put out on the concrete floor.
Yeah.
And every year we will change and do something new.
Right.
Okay, this year we will change the floor, we'll do tiles. The next year we will start buying chairs and tables and benches. And we started, and today we have a full-fledged Armstrong's Learning Center, well equipped with technological devices and books and whiteboards and everything you could think about to enhance learning. Right? So my mom is no more, but this was always her passion, and she asked that, we continue. And growing out of that, as I said, I have two boys. The first one said he loved teaching with a passion. So he also went into teaching. So the learning center started to grow. And the other one, he loved teaching as well, but then he said, I want to do something different as well. So he decided to go into law. So he is there studying criminology and law. And he did the police exam recently. He's only 19, and he was also successful. So he's attending the University of the West Indies, and he's doing fine. But whenever he's in Tobago, trust me, he is at Armstrong's Learning Center, giving of his best, because he likes to lecture. So when he comes there and he see the young boys coming to class and their pants down below their bottom, or they have an afro comb in their hair, or they have a bandana, so he will sit and he will start to talk to them about their dress code and what they are predicting and where it could lead to. So all of this fused together with the teaching and their lifestyles. So we're not only preparing them to pass an exam, we are preparing them for the world of work, and we are preparing them for life.
Excellent.
So when you come to Armstrong's Learning Center, we prepare that is not only book, writing, chalk, talk, marker, whiteboard. No, you have to live it. You have to live the dream. And we are not going to teach them only on the board. Right? There are different ways of learning through sport, through music, through academics. We have a wide variety through your drawing and your art. And we try to explore what they like and go with what they like. So you see, we building a world of passion. They love music, they love the steel pan. And we will get the steel pan to come in, or we'll get somebody with drums, or we'll get somebody with dance, and we expose them to different ways of learning. You can learn through dance. And what can you learn from this lesson today? When you did the dance and you do the mathematics, you have to count for the timing, you do the science, and so we start to spread our wings. And more, the situation, where the class is situated is in Wilson Road, Scarborough, Tobago.
Right.
It's
So I was
right
going to
by
ask
the
you.
road.
Yeah.
Yes, it's right by the road. So when persons are traversing to and from their workplace and to school and back, and it's well fenced, they see this nice building, nicely painted building with the sign Armstrong's Learning Center, and it's gated. So that is what people like. It's gated. So when you come through the gate, you cannot go back out until your parents come for you. And we do not allow strangers to come on the compound. So that makes it stand out from the rest because you feel a sense of safety.
Right.
When it's time for the children to come, we open up the gates.
Right.
So the cars could drive in. You have a drive-in at a turntable. If you want to park and wait, be spacious. But know that the gate will be closed. And when it's time for them to go, we open the gate again so that the parents could come in. They do not have to pick up the children on the road, right? They could come in and park, pick up, chat with the teachers, and so on. And so we tend to grow from strength to strength. Right?
Excellent.
We start with a few.
Mhm.
Presently, we are 60 students strong, and we have a complement of 5 teachers thus far, and we are looking to extend and expand with the teachers because we don't want just any and everybody. They must see the vision, they must have the passion, and then we go with it. We go strong and we intertwine, we teach any area. So
Right.
one teacher is not
As you
one teacher.
mentioned vision there,
Uh-huh,
what is the
yeah.
vision and the mission of the school? I mean, it started, and I'm hearing the passion in your voice for it, and you latched onto the word, and I like that it's turning out to be a legacy school. Your mother
Yes.
herself and now your son, so that
And
legacy that you
yes,
guys
it's a legacy.
behind, and they're not forgetting their roots. You know, your son
No,
looking to become a lawyer and then coming back ever so often to give back to his family legacy. So that's excellent. But what's the vision
yeah.
and mission of the school now that it's grown into something else? What is your vision and mission for the institution?
All right. We have a vision to make it international or the best learning center
Mhm.
in the island of Trinidad and Tobago.
Mhm.
And then we have the vision to make the better best.
Mhm.
So when you think that you're better, we still want you to make it your best. So
Right.
it's an upward learning. It doesn't stop there at all. It's upward learning to make the better best. And the vision is to expand and, yes, incorporate all the learning entities that we can accompany.
Mhm.
And we tend to increase with the building. It's downstairs, so we intend to go up and down.
Mhm.
All right. So we intend to expand and traverse the entire Trinidad and Tobago. Anybody wants to come on board,
Mhm.
once we have the space, we will accommodate. So we're not going to stay stagnant to where we are. We are going to continue to
Grow.
expand and explore
Grow
and
with the
grow.
need. Yeah.
Yes, we will
Yeah.
grow.
So this
Yes.
institution at present is a private institution, right?
Yes, it's a private institution. It's just run by Armstrongs and well
Tutors.
chosen staff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how
So
do you
that's
select your staff for hire at the institution? What's the levels? First, I should probably ask you what's the level um of age groups per se. I don't know if you do it standards, form, or just look at it in terms of
yes.
age. Yeah. Tell us a bit about the age of the
Right. So the levels, we started with standards 1 to 5.
Mhm.
Standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mhm.
And we started with the weak ones. But
Mhm.
even though some of them are pretty strong, they
Mhm.
still want to come on board and we do not turn them back. I
Okay.
have an uncle who tells me all the time, do not turn back children. When you see them coming to you, do not turn them back.
Mhm.
So then I tend to get the strong ones. So then we mix the weak and the strong. They work together. And the stronger ones just help out the weaker ones. They work as a team.
Mhm.
Sometimes, they don't get it from the teacher, but when a child explains it, they get it from the child. So we
Mhm.
give them that experience and the exposure. Yes, you can go on the board and teach the class. So we let a child do it.
Mhm.
And yes, it increases their confidence and their self-esteem and so on.
Mhm.
Right? So and then to select my teachers, I
Mhm.
have a nice interview because teaching is not about the subjects on the paper.
Right.
Yes, it's not about your past, it's about your passion.
Mhm.
Because we could have someone who doesn't have the subjects, but they have the passion. They're willing to learn, they're willing to research and come back with new ideas to explore. So
Right.
we have the interview. We look at your qualifications as well because you don't want somebody who doesn't know how to add and who doesn't know the subject verb agreement and they wouldn't know how to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Right.
Right. So we look at that. But more so we look at the passion and what you could bring to the learning center.
Okay.
So that's how, yeah, what you could bring to develop it a little more. And some people, they really come with some really nice ideas. You don't have it all. And when
Right.
they come, especially when you do the art and craft and you see the design, and I'm like, wow, teach me how to do that too. Because you don't know everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So this goes
So,
nicely into my next question. What range of subjects or topic do you offer to, or courses do you offer to the students at your institution?
all right. So before I go to that, I will piggyback a bit on the level standard 1 to 5.
Yes.
Right? Yes, standard 1 to 5. Then we had parents come in with a big sister maybe in standard 5, and then they had somebody in second year. And the person in second year struggling, and they want to come to class with their sister, and they want to sit down. And then I couldn't just let them sit down and do nothing. So I started to pull on the side and assist them. And more parents start asking for the younger ones. I prayed about it, and then I said, okay, let me give it a try. And it is working well. So right now, well, I started with the infants now from first year to standard 5. When they reach standard 5 and they pass to go on to the secondary level, they're coming back. They, they're coming back. And part of my teaching profession, I taught a high school for 9 years. So I have a wealth of knowledge as to what is expected out there in the high schools. So then I said, okay, I wouldn't turn them back either. So we started Form 1s. Then they didn't want to leave, they go to Form 2. They didn't want to leave, so Form 3. So presently we have from first year to standard 5 in the primary school, and in the high school, Forms 1, 2, and 3. Now the third formers are now going into fourth form, and mind you, they don't want to leave.
Right.
They don't want to leave.
Right.
So my intention is that we may expand up to fifth form once we have the time, because I will have a little more time now because I'm going to retire at the end of July.
Right.
So for coming out of my retirement, instead of the evening classes now, we're going right on to homeschool or private school, where you go from first year to right now we have first year to Form 3. And then, well, maybe later on we will expand to Form 5. So I could go back now to the question you were asking.
About subjects, yes. Subjects and the
Yes,
courses, yeah.
right. So the subjects we do, mathematics, all the areas in mathematics, we cover all the concepts, and the language arts, including the creative writing. So with language arts, it's not just grammar. We do everything, the reading, the structural analysis, the everything that deals with language, the spelling, the vocabulary, every area of the language. Right. So we deal with all that, and we pay a lot of attention to creative writing, and we allow them to write, especially calypso. You could learn from calypso. So you give them an opportunity, and they learn their poetry from writing a calypso and so on. And then you tell them to try to sing it. So you put in another energy, and another music, and another excitement. Anytime you make your classes boring, the children wouldn't want to come back. So you have to make them a part of the class, make it exciting. So when they leave with the aha feeling that they want to come back. And they always come back because they are leaving with a sweet taste in the mouth of learning and education. So it's different from what you do in your regular school. So they always want to come back. So
Right.
that's the area we do maths and language. For the secondary school, if you're struggling with Spanish, right, my sons will do a little Spanish with them because I am not too encore with the Spanish. So my children will assist them with Spanish or biology or some other troubled area, right? They will assist them with that. But the basic thing is just the language, the reading and the writing and the arithmetic and the geometry and so on, the language and the mathematics. That's the main focus that we have. And of course, life skills. We prepare them for life.
Right. I also heard you
Yeah.
mentioning art and so forth. So is that part of
Yes.
the formal curriculum, or is it just an extra that happens in the institution?
It happens while we learn. You'll
Right.
use different forms of learning, right? So sometimes we'll ask you, or I may go on the board and I may draw something and they will laugh at me. I said, well, okay, you can do it better than me. Who is willing to come and draw? Because I will draw the heart crooked, or I will draw the dog. You wouldn't like to see it. And miss me. So you give them that opportunity. At one time I saw a boy, he couldn't read, but he could draw. So you use the drawings, right? The animals, you use the ducks and the rabbit and so on, and then he started learning from drawings. So you try to captivate all areas of learning, or as many areas as possible, to make sure the children fit in some way, because God didn't make everybody the same way. So you have to find a niche and you have to help them to work on it. Yeah?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
The classes were evening classes. Are they currently evening classes and expanding into full day classes? What was the structure
Yes,
like originally? Yeah.
currently, yes, currently we have evening classes,
Mm-hmm.
and but when it's Christmas, we have like all day classes for about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Easter, we have another 2 weeks where we go from like 9 till 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So we have evening, and then Christmas and Easter we go during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And next Monday on the 8th of July, we have a summer camp
Mm-hmm.
where we go from 9 until 2, Monday to Thursday. And we are going to use a lot of resource people to come in as well. So yes, it's a camp. You are going to do the academics, but you also have to learn your social skills and you have to know current affairs. You
Okay.
must know what is going on in and around you. So some of the resource people we have coming in is TEMA, because remember we just had the hurricane, right?
Yes.
So TEMA is willing to come on the first week with movies and different educational aspects that they are going to pay attention to and let them know what they can do and what they must do in times of natural disasters
Mm-hmm.
and the first aid. Because if something happened, and they would need to know a little first aid as well, because they run, they play, things do happen. So we have TEMA coming in. Then we have WASA coming in, but WASA now, they do not want to do the lecture in the classroom, which is very nice. So we'll make it a field trip and we are going to the Hillsborough Dam. So she will make it interactive. The lecturer will make it interactive, and they will be right in front of the dam, and they will lecture them there so they'll have a better idea as to where we get the water, what goes on before it comes to you home in your taps. We have the dental nurse coming in, healthy lifestyle to take care of your teeth and so on. Right? Then we have the police, we have the community police about theft and those little petty crimes. And the one that they love the most, because I did it twice and they always ask for them, is the police officers who come with the canine dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and they teach them, they show them and show them about the drugs and show them what the dogs can do. So they do a good demonstration, a wide variety of the demonstration with the dogs. And this year they are planning to bring the horses as well.
Wow, they were
Yeah, so they will, yes, we have the space, the room. So yeah, we go outside and they teach them. So not only the academics, we're gonna bring it, and then we do the aerobics. Aerobics burnout, we do it right. And my son will do the aerobics with them because he was a cadet. So instead of before, we used to go and get people from the army to come and do it, and we say, okay, your resource person is right here. So we'll tell them when we are going to do it, bring a lot of water, right? And then we just depart and we go out and we do the academics, the aerobics, and we teach them about healthy eating, healthy living, and so on. So when the children leave from the Armstrong's Learning Center, they leave with a wealth of knowledge. We also take part in the heritage, take part in the sense that, okay, we love to go to the Black Rock Heritage Park where they pull the seine. So the fishermen will allow the children to pull in the seine. So you let them take off their shoe and they go in the sea by the water and they pull in the seine with the fish. And when they bring the fish ashore, they give them some of the fish, they put it in baskets, and they teach them how to carry the basket with the fish on their heads. So you imagine seeing the children who falling down, who basket, yes. And yes, and I will always have my cooler with the ice. So they will put the fish into the cooler, and when they are going home, they take the fresh fish home, and they will send videos of them cleaning the fish with the parents, who frying the fish, who they have fun. They
Yeah, so
just make
as you
it
say, it's
fun
a
while they
life,
learn.
it's life learning, it's
Mhm.
learning for life
Life
that's taking
learning.
place. And I like
Yes,
that I'm hearing you're really
yes,
fostering that sense of community. You're making connections
yes,
with organizations in the
connected.
community to be able to do what it is you
Yes,
do. So that's
because we
excellent.
don't know their passion, what they would like to do in the future. So from the class, we'll have a niche as to what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think because of that too, why my son went into law and police and things, because he was exposed to these things right at the learning center. And then he said, I like this and I like that. You're always going after the dogs, and yes, you're always volunteering. So I think some people get their passion from these different exposures.
So it sounds
Yeah.
like it's and based on the fact that you're growing from, you know, from
Mm-hmm.
taking in primary school to going to a younger age and now going to an older
Yes.
age, it sounds like it's
Mm.
growing and expanding, and you have plans
Yes.
to expand not just the school and its curriculum, but also the physical structure as well. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
quite a innovative undertaking that you're doing. So
Yes.
do you face any challenges then in running such an institution? What were some of the challenges you faced in running this institution and keeping it successfully growing?
Okay, you wouldn't believe my major challenge
Mm.
is the children. I wouldn't
Mhm.
even call it, I don't know how to put it. The
Mhm.
children doesn't want to go home after class. Honestly, they
Yeah.
start calling me mommy, and then the next one mommy
Mhm.
and mommy. And when the parents come, okay, one go into the vehicle and say, "Where is your sister? She inside. Go and call her sister." When she go on to the call her sister, she stay. The sister go back, and they play rocket yo-yo with the parents who cry, "I want my teacher."
Right.
Honestly, I get that.
So it means
And that, oh,
they love going there. It's a place that they
yes,
love to
because
go and
it's
they love the living
different.
place.
They love to learn its different styles, and then I use a lot of technology too. So in school where you may not be able to use the projector as you want to, but
Mhm.
I have the space and the resources with the projector
Mhm.
and so on. So, it's a different, they're seeing, they're feeling, they're touching, they're actually doing the work. So it's not like school, you just sit down and write all day, sharpen your pencil. No, we
Mhm.
teach them the right way, the wrong way. And then we have little class parties where we dress properly and you teach them the table ethics and so on. So it's a wide range of learning,
Mhm.
preparing them for life.
Yeah,
So I don't really have much of a challenge,
good.
because they want to come.
Mhm.
Yes, you don't have the children, and I established that in the beginning. You have to want to come. Don't come because mommy send you, or don't come because mommy and her know where to go, so she drop you.
Right.
You of yourself
Yeah, it's
have
not
to
a
want to.
daycare, right? It's a
Yes,
willingness. When you have
you have to be
willingness, you have,
willing to come.
yeah,
And if you're not willing, if you don't want to be a part, chat with your parents, chat with me, and I will talk to your parents, because you could bring the horse to the well, but you can't make it drink.
exactly.
So you have to let them know. And most time, if they come with a negative mindset,
Mhm.
in 2 2s, they change totally around, and the parents will want to know, Miss, what going on? He doesn't know work in school, but he doing work by you?
Mhm.
Miss, as soon as I drop them, he running with the bag, and they're running to come. And they're crying if they're not they can't get to drop them to the classes. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh my gosh. But
So do
I
you
have a
have,
passion for children.
mhm,
Yeah.
do you have people coming to you with children because your institution is unique, right? It's not the
Yeah.
traditional school system. It's not a
Yeah.
it's a
Sit
learning
down
center
and
you're calling it.
yeah.
It's not a
Mm-hmm.
traditional school, a 8 to 3 school. So do you have
Yeah.
people coming with children with special needs or special learning needs and asking you to take their children into your institution?
All right. I'm now getting that as I plan to go full-time homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting that. So I am letting them know that we have to work together. I
Right.
am not fully trained in that area, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to try, because there are not many places or schools or institutions in Tobago to
Yeah.
assist these children.
Mm-hmm.
Because I check around, and when you go, they just have them in there drawing and coloring, and yeah, no reading takes place, no. So it's a
Engagement.
challenge for the parents, because I
Mm-hmm.
myself did some checking around.
Mm-hmm.
So I have about 4 of them. I
Mm-hmm.
told the parents I'm going to try. They have to work with me,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see if we could get something out of it. And they agreed, because they said, we know the situation, we know with children. We just want them to be in an institution where they could socialize, communicate, and whatever little they do, they will be grateful for it. So
Yeah,
we're
because
not
I
going to
heard you
shut them
say
out.
that you're not, I like that you said, because people think sometimes that schools and learning institutions are just babysitting places.
Yes,
Your
yes,
school will have a unique bridge there because you are an
yes.
after school learning center
After school.
where most schools
Mm-hmm,
say, okay, school is finished and I'm not ready to take the child home yet, so I want to drop them
mm-hmm.
to this babysitting
Yeah,
center, basically. So
yeah,
I like that you pointed that out, and you're talking about maybe opening up to taking children who have special needs in every sense, you know, not the traditional
Right.
classroom learner, and you're willing to
Mm-hmm.
try. Try here means you're going to hire staff or have professional development
I
or take
will,
on some training yourself for the training, because that's a
yeah,
specialist field. Yeah.
further training, but we
Mhm.
also have to look at the term inclusion.
Right.
We have to include them, and if they socialize or they work with others who are, let's say, norm,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're gonna pick up some of the good habits. They're gonna, yes. So I'm gonna try that for the first time come September. I
Mm-hmm.
am also going to do some extra training in it to see how best, because I have a colleague who works with me at my present school, St. Andrews, and she will assist me from time to time because in all schools you get a few. And she
Right.
said, you know, my son is a special need child. And
Mhm.
she was showing me how to deal because our little boy was so miserable. And you're ready to put him out. And she said, let me tell her how to deal with him. There is one love. And she started to show me. I said, oh, and then I started learning. So you learn from your colleagues and
Mhm.
you go out there and you get to seek further learning institutions where it can help you to be a better teacher, a better facilitator to these children because God didn't make everybody the same way. So
Indeed.
we have to work, and once the parents work with me, I think we're going to go a long way with these children.
Right.
These same children we call special needs, I
Mhm.
want to show them that yes, they could do something with themselves. They could
Right.
learn something. It
Mhm.
may not be all academics, they may be a good runner or a music player or something. God didn't make everybody the same. So we have to look for their strengths and work with them, work with them. So I intend to do that come September. Inclusion, include them with the others.
Mhm.
Yes, and from time to time, I will invite resource persons to come in as well so they can assist me and
Mhm.
assist the children and assist the parents as well. Because some parents do not know how to deal with the children,
Mhm.
so they too have to get assistance. So I'm willing to go that way. Inclusion.
Yeah. So what are your upcoming projects that you have or initiatives that you have? We are in July here. What are your plans?
Well, my main plan is for because it's the first time from September,
Mhm.
as soon as school open, to
Mhm.
start open my doors to the full-time homeschool, where you
Mhm.
go Monday to Friday, just like the primary school, Monday to Friday from 9 until 2. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
going to use the national curriculum of Trinidad and Tobago. So
Mhm.
they will not be left behind. They will also be registered by the Division of Education.
Mhm.
So those who are going to do the SEA, they will be registered and they will do the SEA as private candidates. So they
Okay.
are not going to be left behind. So
Mhm.
I'm doing all in my bit to make sure I have everything ready for the startup of school in September, doing everything that all the other schools are doing, including the co-curricular activities. I'm also going to include that in my school. So I already have the president of Planting Bigger for Tobago. He's going to come in and do some work with them. I have a karate instructor. And then sometimes I don't have to go and look for these people. These people come in to me. They come in and they want to work with me and work with the school, which is a plus, and
Mhm.
I will endorse it. So my major project is my Armstrong Learning Center full-time homeschool. And yes, I'm going to continue the evening classes after because my goodly friends say, Miss, when you open the homeschool, what about us? I said, yes, homeschool finish at 2, then you all will come in from 3:30 to 5. So I'm going to cater for it will be full-fledged like a normal institution because at my workplace I go from 8:30 to 2:45,
Mhm.
and then I have my evening classes from 3:30 to 5. Now
Mhm.
I'm on my own, so I
Yeah.
go from 9 until 2 and then 3:30 to 5. Of course, I'm going to open my doors before 9 because we have parents going to work for 8.
Yes.
So as early as 7:30, I will be there to welcome and uncover these children, find something interactive for them to do until we start fully at 9 o'clock. So that's my major focus, my Armstrong Learning Center, full-time homeschool.
I've been talking to you all this time, and I keep hearing the passion coming out in your voice, passion for what you are doing.
Yes,
And it's not
yes.
just, for teaching, it's a passion with everything education wise. So I want to ask you, how do you maintain your passion and enthusiasm after 38 years of teaching? What do you do? Tell us your secret.
It's No secret, you're doing what you love. And as I said before, when you grow up in the environment, because when my mother was a teacher and a school principal, you're always there assisting her with her school. So you got the exposure from very small to go in the school and assist her to set up whatever she's doing and join on the bandwagon when they are going on field trips, when they're going out of the country, like for 4-H and so on. That's how you learn different things, and you learn to travel and you learn to meet people. And you always say, when I get my own, I want to do the same.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. And I balanced it nicely because I had a nice life growing up, and then you have 2 boy children, and you don't want their life to be led astray. So you have to follow through, make sure that they understand what learning is about, and give them the exposure. And to give them the exposure, you have to be out there exposed. You have to be getting involved. You can't sit down and send them, because I always say I don't send my children, I go with my children.
Right.
So when I'm giving them the exposure, I go with them as well. So I keep a balance. I keep ahead of what is going on, because if you don't know what the young people like, you wouldn't know how to understand how to treat them. So you have to be there. You have to sit and talk with the young people, find out what is troubling them. You can't just sit and bash. It's like you being a preacher and you're bashing everybody going to the party, but you don't know what's going on in the party.
Right.
You don't know what's going on the streets for carnival if you stay home and bash. But take a walk into Scarborough Carnival Monday or Tuesday, and you observe what is going on, and then you know how to educate. Yeah, so I balance it well, because I am an outgoing person. I get involved in a lot of things, sports, and we'll talk about calypso.
Right. We won't forget because we read that bio. We will not forget because we read that bio, so we know that you're
Yes,
involved in so much.
a
And
lot
that's
of
where the passion
calypso.
is coming out, Everything that you
Yes,
do is not even for your own holistic development, but everything
no,
is so linked to learning.
it's
It's
linked to
all a passion
learning.
for learning, yes. So
Learning.
what important qualities do you think a teacher should have? You've been teaching for 38 years, you're about to retire. You also
Yes,
hire teachers yourself,
teachers.
work as an administrator in your own school, in a school.
Mm-hmm.
What qualities would you look for and you think it's important for teachers to have?
The qualities I mainly will look for is that you have to like what you do. You don't come into teaching because you could make some money or it's just another job. Because teaching goes way beyond money. Money can't pay for teaching.
No.
You have to like what you do, and you have to put your best foot forward. You have to research. You have to stay on top of your game. Teaching doesn't end like a 3 to 4 job or a 8 to 4 or 3 to 5. Teaching goes beyond that. And you have to make the time and value what you do. And you have to make sure you meet the need of every child. You don't say, he doesn't give trouble. No, you have to like it, and you have to do a lot of research and soul digging, and you have to be an exemplar. So the things that is not of good character and good standard, you have to leave it behind. And some people don't want to leave it behind. You have to leave because children are looking at you. You have to be a role model. You have to model. You have to
Yes.
model what you do. You
Yeah.
have to be the role model.
I like that you
Yeah.
said teaching is more than 8 to 3, because your
Yeah.
school, I think, filled that gap where,
Yeah.
yes, traditional school is 8 to 3, but you are
Mm-hmm.
going beyond that time period.
Beyond.
And we
Yes.
might want to point out what I liked is that, people might say after school again, 3 to 5 p.m. or however long your period
Yeah.
runs, your school time runs, but it's not just academics that you're doing. So, it's not school
No.
from 8 to 5 where the children are just there being exhausted. It is the entire learning experience. And from what you've described, they love it.
They love it.
If they
Yes,
didn't
they
love
love
it, they
it.
wouldn't want to return. They wouldn't tell their
Exactly.
brothers and sisters to come to the place, and they wouldn't want to come back. So, I like
Yeah.
that idea of the passion and the important qualities that you say. You have to love what you do because the children will
True.
feel it.
They will feel it.
And
Yes.
yes, and your whole institution is now, showing that.
Showing
So,
that, because you're not supposed to tell a teacher everything to do. You
right.
must use your own initiative and your own passion and go with it. Don't wait for me to say, okay. And I test you a whole lot, especially on the first day of the interview, how you dress, how you answer the questions. And then I will put an obstacle somewhere and to see how you will treat with that obstacle. If you're just going to wait for me to say it, or if you will see an initiative to say, all right, let me pick up that paper on the ground or something on the chair, something,
You're
some
hearing, huh?
obstacle.
So,
Yes,
so
I will put an
future
obstacle.
employees of Armstrong's Learning Center, right? You have
Yes,
little tasks to achieve. So you're getting a
yes,
little nugget here.
yes. So I want to see how you will treat with it, how you will
Mhm.
deal with it.
Very
Because
good.
you will meet challenges and you
Mhm.
have to know how you can't run every time you get a challenge. You have to stand up, face it, and solve it. Yeah, we are about solving problems, not creating.
Right. And
Yes.
teaching
So
is not, you're showing that teaching is not only about knowing your curriculum, knowing your content area.
no.
It's about
Mm-hmm.
adapting and other skills, social
Yes.
skills, human skills,
Mm-hmm.
interpersonal skills, and workplace skills. So that's
Yes.
pretty good. So
Yes.
this
Excellent.
podcast, right, is
Mm-hmm.
called Teachers Have Issues, Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What issues or issue do you think teachers have?
Biggest issue, money.
In what way? What do you mean? Because money,
Well,
let me
if
let
you
you
ask,
define.
yes, when you ask them to do something a little beyond, they say that's above my pay grade. I'm not doing it. Yes,
So in terms of
that
salary, money in terms of salary, teachers need.
salary.
Okay.
Yes. Another challenge they have as well
Mm-hmm.
is with the administrators or the principals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them will tend to be bullies, and I'm in charge. So
Mm-hmm.
you either do what I say or else I'll write you up. So
Oh.
you come in, you just don't want to be written up for something. So
Mm-hmm.
you come and you're stupid and you're doing things that you're not comfortable with.
Right.
Yes, it makes it very uncomfortable. Sometimes you cannot speak to them because they figure, well, they're above reproach. I
Mm-hmm.
have the writing pen, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I can write you up, I can do this. So, and they don't want to go and challenge the fear of victimization and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So they do their bare minimal. They come to school just before the bell.
Right.
And when the bell rings, they're running out before the children
Right.
because they're not comfortable in their workspace. So
Yeah.
the challenge sometimes has come from on top. And they
Right.
cannot, yeah, they don't feel free, they can't talk, they can't express themselves, or they feel like they're being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, that's above my pay grade. I'm not going to do it. I'm not getting paid to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to go the extra mile.
So
So
one thing is
money
the
has a,
result of the other, you're being treated a
yeah,
particular way, and then this is the result.
then the salary is not cut, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So they come and they give their BM minimal. And I see it, I hear it, I live through it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's above my pay grade. And you'll ask, so why you coming to school? But I come in early for. You do good or you do bad, you're not recognized for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they tend to have a deterrent where that is concerned. But if they come and they're comfortable and it's being treated fairly and transparency and so on, they're going to perform better. But most times there's no transparency, especially from the head.
Right.
Especially from the head. Yeah.
But
They don't know
you,
you go and you raise funds and they don't know what they do with the funds. And then they say, next time you see me, I know working after school because I don't know what they do with the money. You
right.
know?
Yeah, make a
Yeah.
good
Gotta
point.
make them
Very good
comfortable.
point in terms of one of the issues, well, two of the issues
Yeah.
that teachers face.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
yourself being an administrator, how would you respond to something like that where the teacher say that's above my pay grade? How would you tackle that? How do you respond to that?
Well, I do not have it chronic per se,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a good relationship with all my staff
Right.
members.
Mm-hmm.
And I will sit and say, Miss, come and tell me why you're coming so late in
Mm-hmm.
a nice tone. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised. They will sit and they will tell you all the little challenges. And
Mm-hmm.
then you sit with them and you try to solve the problem.
Right.
So I do not have an issue where teachers are concerned because they can feel free to talk to me anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, feel free to bring a child and say, Miss, I don't know how to deal with this, And they say, Miss, you try. And we will sit and we'll try and solve the problem. So me personally, I do not have a challenge, but I see it with others
Mm-hmm.
and they would not go to whoever is in charge because of the attitude and they're afraid of being victimized or being bullied and they just pull away,
Mm-hmm.
withdrawn, just teach the bare minimal and that's it. Like one teacher said, when they bring their project, me never now watch it. Once they bring it, there, I get full mark. Just in that dialect and that tone, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They want me to do that. Once I bring the project, me never now watch it. I will just give them the full mark.
Wow.
Yeah. And then some of them again, a whole class getting grade A and B. And
Mm-hmm.
you will say, but miss, how come?
Mm-hmm.
You must supposed to have a bell curve. How come everybody have A and B? You see me? And you see that principal there? Me, which I just to watch it to tell me nothing. So I just give everybody A and B.
Wow.
And that damages the children because it's not about you, it's about the children. Because when the parents see the high grades, they feel elated, but that is not a true reflection of the child. So, you had to sit down and talk to the teachers and say, well, it's not about whoever is in charge, it's about the children. So you have to give them a fair grade. Because when they leave your class and they go to someone else, and then the person decides to give them a fair grade, the parents will want to come down on the other teacher and say, but when there was so-and-so, they used to get this. Now they're by you, they're not getting it. But the teacher before used to set them up because they weren't comfortable. So you set up the parents, you set up the children. So you have to encourage your staff to be fair. And once you treat your staff with kindness and respect, you're going to get it back. So I didn't have the problem because I know how to deal with my staff. So they used to work. And that's how things work for the better for the children. It's not about us. It's about the future generation. So whatever we put in, we get out. So that was the major challenge, the money and the respect they get from most administrators. They don't get it. Yeah. So that's the challenge.
Thank you. That's great.
Mhm.
How do you balance, because you're doing two jobs here basically administratively. You are teaching as an administrator, you're
Yes.
acting vice principal,
Yes.
and then you're running your own institutions. You kind of have a double hat that you're wearing. How do you balance that, running your own institution and having that job? How do you manage?
Not only double hat, because when you finish, you're involved in church, you're
Right.
involved in the community Scarborough Alliance Club. At
Mhm.
the end of the day, I myself this way, but how I manage all this?
Tell
But with
us.
the help of God,
Right.
yes, you organize yourself properly.
Mhm.
Okay, I have school, then I have class until that time. After class, I have to go to a meeting. I drive my own vehicle. So once you organize, you drive, you go to that, you finish, you have to go to the grocery, you might go, you make your grocery and you go home. Day two, all right, I have a different meeting after. So you structure your way, you structure everything. Once you have structure, yes, you will get through everything that you set out to do. Because the amount of things I do and still have time with my children, still help them with the calypso writing. And every year they will be in the finals in Tobago and go and move on to Trinidad in the big yard. Yes. And I go with them. You just organize the organization. Once you organize yourself, you're disciplined to make your plans and work your plans. That's how it works. You're not all over the place. You make your plan and you work your plan. So that's how you do it. You just organize yourself accordingly.
So
Yeah.
I think this is about the third or fourth time I've heard you mention calypso, which is a very important cultural
Yeah.
genre for us there.
Yes,
What's your
yes, yes. My
involvement in
children love it.
calypso? Yeah, tell us about it.
My children love calypso. They like writing calypsos, and now they want to branch over to soca. And let me mention one of my past students here, Sherwin Winchester.
Okay. Yeah.
He was one of my past students,
Yes.
and he wanted to give back, and he loved the soca, so he started to assist my children with soca. And then they start singing a bit, and everywhere he go, and once he see them in the audience, he say, "You come up on stage." So he used to give them the exposure. Say,
Yes.
let the stage be your home, and that kind of give them some confidence. Then they have Prince Unique from Tobago who writes calypso. Prince Unique just have a passion for the children, and he will come and he will teach them, and I learning with them, and I going with them, and I went to do a couple courses where they actually teach you how to write calypsos, and it helps in poetry. So it helps with my teaching.
Right.
And it helps with the children with the exam. So they know how to write. Yeah, creative writing, it helps them with the exam because they know how to express themselves. When
Yes.
they go for an interview, because they learn the expression, because when you go on stage, first you have to introduce yourself because nobody will listen to you if your introduction is bad. So your first presentation, so that is your introduction to your creative writing. Make people want more. So you introduce, right, you introduce yourself, and then you command the stage. You don't let your creative writing or whatever you're writing get boring. People won't want to read. And in the end, you must have a highlight to leave a sweet taste in your mouth.
Right.
So when I go to church and I have to do the sermon in church, I take a page from the Calypso. So when I go on, I get the attention of the congregation. And I have to keep that attention so they listen to the message. And in the end, you send them home with a message, something to think about.
Right.
So you see how important it is. It
Yes, so
relates,
many
it
linkages. I've heard
integrates
you link it to poetry,
so
to
many.
music, soca, and now
Yeah,
church. So right,
yes,
very
and then
versatile.
right, and I am a practicing lay reader, so I'm in training right now. Yes,
Okay,
totally
excellent. So you
take
found
the
more
church
time to do something
forward.
else again.
Yes, see the church.
Excellent.
So find the time again, like tomorrow afternoon, instead of this podcast, I'll go into my lay readers meeting and I learn more. So very soon you see me all in white and I'm on the pulpit.
Yes, congratulations. I'll follow up to here. I'll follow up to here.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. You integrate everything and you learn so much because personally, I am not a house person to finish work and go home. I get bored and frustrated. I have to do something. So I get myself involved with this police youth club is something in the village and people always calling on me to do things for them. So I doesn't have any time to rest. And then my children, one is into poultry and farming, the same one that like the law. So he's in the back feeding the chickens and the rabbits and I go on and I'm doing it too. And so I said, well, he just find the time and he's doing well in school. As soon as he do have a subject in UE, he take his bag on the boat, come up to see about the animals. So I think they took a page from my book. We don't like to sit down. Always keep active and keep things going. And I like it. So in the night, and I don't even feel exhausted because after all that, I still finding time to go and do my little exercise to keep healthy.
You
Normally
need
I
to
have
write
a
a how to do
full
it book,
day.
how to manage your
And,
time
and it, I'm
and stay
managing it and
healthy.
loving it.
Right?
And while you're managing it, you have to love it.
Love it. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So I do a full day at the end. I say, hey, I accomplished all this in one day.
Wow.
Never a dull moment.
Amazing. So you're
Yes,
about to
yes.
retire soon. How do you feel about that?
Exciting because I have a purpose. You
Right.
see, if you're gonna retire and you're gonna go home and you wonder what you're gonna do, you don't have to get up to go to work. You just have to laze around the house, wet the plants, mop out and clean up. No, I have a purpose. And my purpose is my full-time homeschool. So I am excited to start. So retiring for me is an excitement because now you have time to put things in place, have the uniforms ready, have everything ready, have the building change and painted over, have it, more student friendly because you have more time now to make it more student friendly, that the children want to come and they want to learn. So I'm so excited that come Friday, I am going to sign the register for the last time at St. Andrews Anglican Primary School. And then I'm launching full speed ahead and putting all my energies and time into having my full-time homeschool, what I want it to be. And that is my dream. And I'm going to make my dream come true in establishing my full-time Armstrong's Learning Center homeschool. That's my passion and that's my purpose. So
That
I'm
is
excited.
such
Yeah.
an excellent way to end our podcast here this afternoon. So thank you so much, Miss Armstrong. I want to say to my listeners that you empower minds and you ignite curiosity. You've heard it here, listening to Miss Shelley Armstrong, the empowering of minds and the igniting of curiosity. So thank you so much again, Miss Armstrong, for joining us on Teachers Have Issues. Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.